What is up, you guys? Momo here, and by the time of this recording, all the embargoes are off, which means I can finally talk about some of the stuff that I've been playing at Gamescom press day, and also share my own opinions. Yes, it's Gamescom time, and just like many other content creators, I was able to play a lot of the games there very early. It was mostly press and industry, and I got to meet and network with tons of people there too, and I'm very excited to share with you guys what I've been doing at Gamescom and what things I've seen and played actually. So this year I primarily checked out Capcom's booth in Hall 9. They had Pragmata, the new Onimusha game, and also Resident Evil 9. Yes, I was able to play it early, and I'm going to tell you all about it in just a couple of minutes. Since I played a couple more games than that, I will put timestamps on the video so that you can skip to whatever game you're interested in. And without further ado, I would first like to talk about Onimusha. Onimusha I was a bit worried about when I saw the first trailer, because at one hand I was super happy that this franchise was finally returning, but at the same time I was worried about whether or not they would ditch the action-heavy gameplay and go for a more Souls-like experience, since that's where the big money has been for the last couple of years. And I'm happy to say that it definitely feels like Onimusha when you play it. The action part still has a lot more emphasis, and it gives you a lot of room to make mistakes without having to face inevitable death. The control layout is a bit different this time because you have 2 attack buttons instead of 1 now, and using your Oni gauntlet is now assigned to your trigger button as opposed to the triangle or Y button. What's different about this game is that there's this sort of Arkham-style detective mode where Musashi, the main character, can see obstacles that you would otherwise not see to progress. There's also the ability to interact with the environment. That was something from the first games too, but they kind of pushed it a bit more. There was a specific moment in the demo where you basically took this wooden handcart and pushed it to kill all the demons around you. That was very cool. But all in all, the mechanics from past Onimusha games, like the parry, they're all still there. So yeah, good news in terms of Onimusha. Now, Resident Evil 9, and I gotta say, the demo itself didn't get me as hooked as it did for other people, but that was probably due to the fact that you were waiting for at least 2 hours on press day to play for 20 minutes. There was no gunplay, it was very atmospheric, you play as Grace, and you're basically being followed around by what I assume is going to be the bioweapon of RE9. And you try to run away, distract the monster with like bottles and stuff you find around the environment. Interesting thing, the bottles had this sort of battle damage thing similar to Breath of the Wild, where as you use a weapon, it breaks at a certain point. I'm not sure if this applies to the whole game or just the stuff that I have played, but I think the demo did not represent a lot of what the final game is going to be like, and rather just a first look. I do gotta say though, the game looks really good. It's the first next-gen only Resident Evil game, and it shows, it shows. So Invincible Versus, I loved that one very much. I had some hands-on time with the game in the small, dark, backdoor sort of room they took me in, and I played a couple matches with the staff there, and it pretty much feels like MVC3. It's 4 buttons, so light, medium, heavy, special, and you got your 2 tag buttons, or assist buttons, depending on how long you'd press them, and I had tons of fun playing with OMNI Man and Rexplode. I didn't get to play any training mode or anything, like the demo was just, you boot up the game, you get your characters, you select one of the 3 stages or so available, and then you just get to play the game. But yeah, I got to play OMNI Man, who was just recently revealed, I think at EVO. The game is very fun. I think the assists are super intuitive in the game. Experimenting around with the assists can be very fun. Air combos in this game are so incredibly fun. I very much enjoyed it. I think it's gonna be a blast when it comes out. And considering 2XKO wasn't there, I think Invincible Versus is gonna take the spot for Best Team Fighter if it wasn't for Marvel Tokon coming out. I personally haven't played Marvel Tokon yet, but I also haven't played 2XKO yet. So we'll just have to wait and see how 2026 is gonna be with all these team fighters coming out, but I am very excited. Ninja Gaiden 4. Right next to Hollow Knight Silksong, which I didn't play, though I saw others play it. It looked fun. With Ninja Gaiden 4, same thing. Boot up the SDK, get in the game, and play. In this demo, you play as Yakumo, who is the new protagonist of the game, and I have to say that Ninja Gaiden 4 was probably the most fun action experience I've ever had since DMC5. Yakumo feels pretty much like Raiden in Metal Gear Rising, but also Ryo Hayabusa, and it was so much fun. The graphics are super flashy, and it definitely doesn't look like the typical Ninja Gaiden experience. It looks more like a Platinum Games action game rather than a Team Ninja game, for obvious reasons, but maybe that's for the better, who knows. The boss fight you got to play there against the silver samurai looking guy, tons of fun, and I'm very excited to play it in a couple months. It's really good. Other than that, I got to try out FF7 Remake on Switch 2. Looks pretty decent, ran at 30 FPS both TV and handheld, but both somewhere around like 900 to 1080p. Handheld looked a bit sharper to me in comparison, probably because of the smaller screen. And so in the demo they allowed me to play, you could either start the game from the beginning, or you could play against the Scorpion robot, which is like the first boss fight that you fight against in the game after you plant the bomb on the Mako reactor. It feels pretty much like the PS4 version, but now you can play it on a Nintendo console. I know that it is the Integrate version, which means that it has the lighting and all that stuff from the PS5 version and the PC version, but it definitely feels a bit more like the PS4 version in terms of like frame rate and resolution. Now, one final game I want to share with you guys is Resistance 2040X by Yaya Games. It's a fighting game that plays like Nidhogg, but with a lot of the tropes of typical fighting games. It's special because it combines casual gameplay with FGC mechanics, so everybody can get into it and play the game. I met the lead developer Julio there, and we got to play lots of matches and had tons of fun. I recommend you guys check it out on Steam. I'll put the link in the description for you to try it out, and also sign up for the upcoming playtest. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm currently working on a couple more videos, so stay tuned. I thank you guys so much for your continued support, and with that out of the way, I wish you all the best and see you guys next time.